Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. The Boss. Yes, guys. I'm overly excited. You know, we're going into a new year, but a lot of people are going to carry their old BS into the new year. We're going into a new year. A lot of people are going to carry their old ways. We're going into the new year. A lot of people are going to misbehave as if another year of their life did not just go by. When you look at that narrative, guys, let's just have this discussion. A whole year has gone by, and a lot of people still don't even realize that you haven't done anything substantially to change your positioning. 23% of people quit their resolution by the end of the first week of the new year. And 43% of the people quit by the end of January. Let me say that one more time. 23% of people quit their resolution by the first week of that year, and 43% by the end of January, guys. Come on, man. Look at those numbers, right? There's no discipline. Where's the discipline, right? But I'll be honest with you. The main two reasons why, or some of the reasons why I see why, is because some people want to go solo. They don't realize by going solo, you need to realize that everything in life that is substantially can economically put you in a better position, it takes a team. Anyone that don't understand that aspect will always lose. A lot of the times the idea is not that it's bad, it's the execution of the idea. You want to go solo, but you know you need to build a team. You might not be good at technology, but you partner up with someone that is good at technology. I know I'm a good voice. I can talk, but I can't do the things behind the scenes that you don't see that my team is doing as we sit here right now, right? It's value for value. And when you have a team, you learn that we share value. Some people also go into the new year with this thing called too high expectations. There is nothing wrong, right? When you want more, right? You have to realize that sometimes your expectations may be a little bit too far-fetched, right? They have no value. They don't understand that you got to keep in mind that your expectations have to be within reason and make sense. But again, we won't do that. We look at all the wrong things. We look at all the wrong premises and all the wrong reasoning to why. I've learned to have real standards, real goals, and learn how to execute. There are a lot of people who are out here running in circles, doing absolutely nothing. See, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing every day, but expecting different results. Let me say that one more time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing every day, but expecting different results. And I genuinely believe people believe that I can do the same thing every day, every year, every minute, but I'm gonna have better results. So who's the fool? The person that believes that, or the person that's constantly doing that? I think they both are. Because you believe that if you do the same thing, right, something is going to magically change. And then on top of it, we go to the third reason: you give up too easily. You set a date and a moment and a time for when you want something. And when that something don't happen, you give up. You quit. You give up on your dreams, your aspirations, and your goals, and then you envy the ones that continue to chase it. That's the problem. You envy the ones that keep chasing it, right? And that's what we do. A lot of us envy the ones who are out here chasing their better being, their better selves. They're adamant. See, the most disciplined person is the one who stayed the course all year. New year, but a lot of us going in the new year with the same BS. The same BS. We look at our watches, we look at our phones a lot, but we don't see that there's not enough time, right? This is a timeline, right? Where it's from God. We need to realize, like, look, it's not enough time. Look what I'm saying. time. You sit back every day thinking that something comes from nothing. You have to monetize and capitalize on your time. You got to sit there and schedule out your time. We say things like, my 9 to 5 is my stability, but my 5 to whenever is my real life goals. If you're selling your time, right? So your 9 to 5 is provided for your stability. But the 5 to 9 or the 5 to whenever is for your future. But we spend more time on the 9 to 5s than we care about our future. Let's have this conversation. We must talk about these things. See, I'm not going into the new year with my same BullS and my corny ways. We got to shed the fat. We got to shed the excuses. We got to cut off the dead weight. But the problem is we attach ourselves to dead weight, and then we stand in the same situations. Stabilizing of fear. Stability of fear. We don't see that. We stabilize our mentality to think what we want. You've allowed yourself to believe that this is a new year. I'm going to set my resolution. I want to say this one more time. Let's go back to those numbers. 23%. We said 23%, right? I want y'all to hear this one more time, right? 23% of people quit their resolution by the end of the first damn week, right? First week. And 43% quit by the end of January. Y'all don't think there's something wrong with this picture? That's a very low statistic. And we go to reasons why. My first reason I gave you why, we're going to say this again. The first reason I gave you why is you're trying to go solo. The second reason I gave you why is your expectations are too high, right? They're unrealistic. You expect it in a short period of time. You expect that I'm going to do a little bit and so much more going to come. The third reason is you give up too easily. You give up way too easily, right? If you are doing the same thing as last year with no results, there is a problem. If you're doing the same thing as last year and nothing is changing, then there's a problem. And I'm going to go on record and say this. The problem is you. Right? Then another reason we must say, right? No growth. Another reason we're going to say this, though, right? A lot of times we make plans, but we don't have enough money, right? We don't have enough money. That's a real reason. Let's have this conversation. The idea could be good, but there's not enough economics. You got to leverage yourself to where you want to be in life. How do one leverage themselves? If you don't have a great plan, then you leverage it with finances. If you don't have great finances, then you leverage it with a skill. If you don't have a great skill, then what are you leveraging? Life is about value for value. But if there's no value, then what are you bringing to the table? You can't keep going to events empty-handed expecting to get a plate. Let me say that again. You keep going to events empty-handed, but you expect to get a plate. You're the first person in line waiting to get food, and you brought nothing to the party. And that's a continuous problem. Every year, you're the first in line waiting to fail. What you put on your plate? More BS. And more BS. And more BS. And all you do is keep adding more BS to your mind because you don't tell yourself the truth. There is no plan. There is no plan. In order to execute, one must create a plan. In order to create a plan, one must be able to execute. They have to cohabitate. They have to be able to intermingle. One must create the plan and one must be able to execute the plan. Because it's one thing to have a dream with no driver. You're in a car with no driver. Your life has no driver. Wow. I get it. We going into the new wave of AI and there will be cars that will be driving people, but the problem is you can't let that car drive your life. You got to drive your own life. When they say things like your life is in your own hands, that's what we mean by that. Your life is in your hands. You control your life. And a lot of y'all lack motivation. Motivation. Right? How does one obtain motivation? is by putting yourself around people who are actually telling you facts. See, you want the lie, but you want the lie to be the fact because you want the lie to complement your lie. And meaning you want the lie to complement your lazy behind. You tell yourself that you work hard when you know you don't. But I'm gonna tell you something. And this is what you gotta hear clear. It's one thing to work hard. It's another thing to work hard on somebody else's vision. The problem is you spend too much time on someone else's vision. Your 9 to 5 is where you spend all your time at. And you spend all your days on someone else's vision, right? And then you believe that something substantially is going to change for you. Something's gonna change for you. That's a false reality. Again, I go to my job, I do my bare minimum as much as need be, but I know this is not gonna change my life no more than what it is, right? I'd be broke in debt if I weren't for my wife, managing the finances I bring in. And as a man, I respect you for even being able to say that. We gotta get these things back live. Something happened a second ago. Right? Fix this one. This one went off. Go fast. But again, how can I change my life? Give me 1 second, guys. Are we back live? I don't know what happened. How can I change my life when I don't want to change my mind? Right? We lack the discipline. Let me tell you something, and this is being honest. If you can't take constructive criticism, then your plan will always fail, right? You can't even take constructive criticism. Watch what I say about this thing called constructive criticism. Meaning, if you ask me, right, yo, what do you think I should do? And I'm telling you how I genuinely feel, right? And you're being angry at the truth, then you're not coachable. Some people had the potential. Let's look at a sports analogy. Some people had the potential to make it to the pros, but they didn't because they lack discipline and they weren't coachable. You're not coachable. You're going to go into the new year with the same BS, and you know the sad part is? You're going to go into the new year with the same excuses also. A lot of people I'm watching run into different states, right? They're moving to Atlanta, to all over these places. They're moving. But the sad part about it is, who are you moving from? You're moving from the person that you can never run from, and that's yourself. You packed your luggage, you packed your bags, but the one thing you didn't change as far as all your location that you changed is your mental luggage. It's the mental luggage, right? It's your loss. And why do I say it's your loss? Because it's you running from you. And as long as you constantly running from yourself, you're going to go into the new year with the same mentality as last year, ultimately getting the same results. I'm going to tell you something about a great conversation. If one has a great conversation, right? What conversations do for you is this. It sparks thought. What thought does for you is sparks action. And what action does for you is sparks results. Let me say that again. When you start getting in bigger rooms, right? And you start having better conversations, right? The conversation sparks thought. When the thought starts, the action starts. And once the action starts, here comes the results. But you don't want to hear that. Your conversations aren't changing. You're so caught up in all the wrong things. You're so caught up in all the wrong conversations. You think I care about what somebody say about me? It's never going to happen because I'm going to be me no matter what. I'm going to tell you something. If you don't love yourself, who will love you? If you don't respect yourself, who will respect you? If you don't believe in yourself, who going to believe in you? Who? You want the new year to come in and you want better results, but you got to realize something. It's you who has to change you. Nobody can change you but you, right? You're walking around as an adult with something called the BS pamper. What's usually in the BS? And the sad part as an adult, you want somebody to still change your pampers. That's the BS. And you're going to carry that same BS and that pamper to the new year. That's the BS. And the sad part is you're sitting in it and you don't realize that you stink. Damn. It's your idea. It's your mentality. It's your thoughts. As I said, when you sit with a bunch of people, right, and they have better conversation, bigger conversation, it sparks the thought. Because everything you see substantially successful is started as a thought. A person that's successful today, it started as a thought they had. They had a thought. And the thought could have came from someone that motivated them. They could have sat with a person that was like, yo, you know what? Damn, I never thought about that. Why are you thinking like this now? Because of the fact that you're around a new energy. If you stay away from your better self, you'll never become your better self. Let me read this, guys. Look at this. If you smell an odor for long enough, you'll eventually stop noticing it. This is because you prolong exposure to a strong smell. It's believed to be normal now. If you stay around an odor long enough, you start to believe your own smell. And a lot of y'all ain't smelling your own BS. You ain't smelling your own BS. You got to be able to sit down with yourself and tell yourself the truth. It's about to be a new year, but yet still we're going to bring the new year in with the same mentality. We want better results. We want more. I want to do less but have so much more. Damn. Who created this mentality? Who's actually allowing you to believe this mentality? As I say, the narrative is changing. We're going into another year now. And 2024 is here. In 2024, I'm leaving all of my luggage behind me. I'm not going on this mental vacation. I'm saying sometimes you got to go on this mental vacation, right? You pack your bags and you run to another state and you don't realize you're mentally carrying the same luggage you had in the last state. You still got the same trauma. You got a luggage called trauma. You got luggage called insecurities. You got luggage called self-doubt. You got luggage called lack of discipline. You got luggage called inconsiderate. You got luggage called unwilling to sacrifice. You got luggage called the person that's my mate is not good enough for me to get there with it. You got luggage called failure. You got luggage called unwilling to commit. You got luggage called undisciplined mentality. You have luggage called a loser's thoughts, right? This is all your luggage that you're carrying with you, right? And you hoard these feelings. You hoard this mentality. You hoard this mentality. But yet and still believe that it's a new year. But we don't see that we need to change our ways. It's a new year. I am not going to allow myself to be who I was last year and expect better results. Can you sit down with yourself and tell yourself the truth? Can you? Can you sit down with yourself and have a conversation with yourself and make yourself uncomfortable? Can you sit in a room long enough where you're willing to learn something new? Are you willing to do that? See, the problem is this. With social media, a lot of people are smoke and mirrors. They're not real. They're not real. But you see social media and you believe it to be a wholeheartedly real. I don't believe people is winning because they took a nice picture next to a nice car. I don't believe it. Because where are the assets? If these people are making so much money, where are the assets? Because they have on a gold chain? Because they have on a new shirt, clothes, shoes, bags? I told you before, material things are only idolized and worshiped by broke people. Broke people worship material things more than wealthy people. Because a lot of times the people that you see are wealthy, they don't see those things that to be so substantial as you do. It's a normal purchase for them. It's a normal purchase. When you have so much money to buy a $1,000 car note every month is nothing. But a person that's working hard who don't have the money sees it's so substantial. It's a status symbol. But I'm going to tell you something. Your status symbol don't reflect what you have material-wise when there's no assets acquired next to it. We're going to go into the new year and still keep not planning how we're going to get to where we want to get to. I want more. For all my people on the live right now who want more, say it. I want more. I want more. I think you might be full. You might be full. I'm not full. I'm just getting started. You won't tell yourself that though, right? You won't tell yourself I got a lot more work to do. Look how secure you have to be with yourself to think that you've arrived or done well, right? And to be able to say to yourself, I got so much more to do. You think most people can honestly say that to themselves? I say that to myself every day. Good. You got more work to do. My guys that tell you I'll do something great and come back and act like it never happened. Because I don't want to get stuck on that successful moment. I don't want to get stuck. Right? But a narrative. Why do most people fail going into the newer years? Because they set false expectations on or the plan has so much holes in it. Right? But they're not being real with themselves. We always talk about who's fake and who's not real, but you're not even real with yourself. Damn. We talk about who's real, who's fake, and we're not even real with ourselves. I told somebody the other day, this is a conversation. A young guy came to me the other day and said, Q, how do you know if you're doing better or not doing better? I told him, if you keep looking for acceptance of people to cheer you on, more people are going to keep moving the goalposts because in a lot of times you've surpassed their belief of where you can get to. So what happens is a person will move the goalposts further and further and further because they don't want to celebrate you. They don't want to tell you or compliment you. There's a saying that I see a lot. It said a man doesn't receive flowers until the day he's in his casket. Damn. That's not crazy. That's not crazy. A hater could never be successful because of the fact that you don't see that you're not willing to even support others. You don't even want to support nobody else, but you want the world to support you. Where does that even make sense? How? When? Where? We're ashamed of our flaws and our mistakes. But I'm going to tell you something, right? Let me just say this real fast to you. Watch this. You remember when you was in school and your teacher gave you an X? Remember when you got an answer on that test and it was wrong? They gave you that big red X? Most people in life, when they get that big red X, they don't go look for the answers and correct the answer. They don't want to learn from what they failed on. So what they do is they ignore the test as if it never happened. The thing about life is when you start becoming intelligent, you start learning that the only failure is failing forward. You do not fail when you learn from how you failed. Failure is a mentality that every person that's successful has to constantly be willing to go through. Because the only way you can win if you learn how to respect and learn from your failures. An unsuccessful mind believes that they're going to always win every single time. Failure is always on the path of success. But you want success with no failure. Where does that make sense? How? Again, we must learn to fail forward. Let's fail forward. This year coming in right now, I'm giving my pledge to myself. I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to take more risks, right? And this ain't no resolution. This is a game plan. See the difference, Kenzie, between a plan and a resolution. This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be intimidated by the fact that some people I might walk into the room with are more educated than me. There was a time in my life that I would be so scared to speak on the things I knew because of the fact that I felt that I didn't have the educational level. And this is me being honest. I was scared to voice my opinion because of the fact that I didn't have the education or quote unquote the credentials. I didn't have it, right? Right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. But as I sit here today, I say to myself, I'm no longer gonna hide who I am. I'm no longer gonna hide in the shadows when I should be in the sunshine. I should be in the sun. But let me guess, you're gonna go right back into the shadows of your old self. You cannot become the brightest thing in the room when you're staying in the dark. Your dream will always be a dream unless you pull it out. This is 2024. New year. We ain't going into this year with the same BS. Right? But as I sit here right now and I tell a lot of people, you're going to go into the year with the same BS. What is the BS? I'm failing because of I'm not doing better because of, I wish I would have knew this back then than I could have. But the sad part is you won't open your eyes and see what you're not doing today. The person that holds you hostage, you holding yourself hostage longer than you've been freed, but you're still holding yourself hostage to the mistakes of yesterday. Every day when you wake up, it's like hitting a life reset. Everything you could have done yesterday has no relevance to today unless you give it value. Don't hide from your fears. Are you going to keep hiding from them? You playing a game of hide and seek with your fear. But the sad part is your fear knows where you are because it can sense you. It can smell your location. But you don't see what it is. I've made tons of mistakes in my life, but yet and still, I had to learn from them. I remember at one point I went through depression and I was depressed because I failed. And I looked at it like, damn, I failed. I was in misery. I wanted pity from the world. But I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why most people aren't successful because most people aren't willing to take the risk that you're willing to take. The reason why most people aren't doing better because they work their 9 to 5 and that's all they do. But the risk takers are the ones who always get the problems. We're the ones who always feel the pain. Everyone can't be a boss because everyone don't have the mentality to be a boss. You got to create the mentality to be a boss. In order to be a boss, you got to know that there's a lot that come along with it, right? Inconsistency holds you back. Inconsistency holds you back. Imagine you sitting in a room alone and there's a door in front of you, right? And it's closed. But you don't go open that door. Why? Because you're scared that there's something beyond that door, right? Listen, if I go through that door, there's a chance that I can do better. But I'm going to sit in that same room for the rest of my life because I'm scared what could be beyond that door. What could be beyond that door? If I open that door, I'm too scared that something might stop me, something might hurt me. I think the worst mind is the mind that creates results before it even tries. Oof. Did you hear that? I think the worst mind is the mind that creates results before it even starts. Look, you've come to the conclusion of what will be before you even try. Wow. Wow. Look at what we've come to. You had a fork in the road. You're sitting there, looking to your left, looking to your right. It's only one or two options. Either you're going to go to your grave and fail, or B, you're going to take the hard road. But the sad part is, when you look at that road, you get intimidated by it. because it tells you success 100 million miles away. But I'm going to tell you something. Failure is closer than success. Because if you sit there every day, you're getting closer and closer to failure. But that million miles that sounded so far away won't be so far away if you took the first steps. But let me guess, we get intimidated, right? Right? You can't predict the future without making a move. Can you predict the future without making a move? Right? It's always the ones who aren't willing to take the steps who critique the people that's willing to take a chance. I always use this analogy. I'm the guy in the game, right? Because the ball comes to me, there's no seconds on the clock. I take a shot, I miss the shot. NBA Finals, I missed the shot. The people who's going to critique me the most about missing the shot is the people who weren't willing to take the shot. Damn. But that's the world we live in, right? I have to be confident enough to take the shot. And most shots that you second guess yourself on be the reason why you lose. I'm asking you today, shoot your shot. Believe in yourself. Stop hoarding your old selves. Stop pushing yourself to failure. We've allowed ourselves to fail, right? When I say allow, you allow yourself to fail because you have to accept the fate. You have to accept it, right? New year, new me. I hear that all the time, right? New year, new me. I don't catch feelings, I catch flights, right? But I'm going to tell you something. I want more this year. I'm going to go after it. I'm not complaining anymore. I'm not making any more excuses. My journey, the new self starts today. If you really believe that you want more, you have to be around people who are doing better. No more excuses. No more crying. No more waiting for things to happen, right? Let's go after it. Here comes a new year. 2024, here we are. But you're going to still behave as if it's 2023. Some people haven't left moments in their life for so long that they don't even know who they are. A lot of people are acting their shoe size and not their age. Yeah. Yeah. You get frustrated when you see people make these resolutions and stand firm to their ignorance because they don't want to take any more chances. They don't want to do any more. Complacency breeds content, right? Complacency breeds content. We got a couple more things on the list, right, that we need to start doing right now. We need to start doing a lot more things. Let's give I want the list of 10 things that a millionaire do every day, right? And I want y'all to hear these 10 things. And we got to start doing these things because we say we want to be successful. How can one be successful if it's not willing to do these things, right? Let's get into these things. Like, let's think about it. I know for a fact, nothing comes from nothing. Life don't happen by chance. As this new year comes in, I got to be willing to do what I have to do. The more I sacrifice, the greater my results. They say, if there's no risk, there's no reward. But are you willing to risk your comfort for a better reward? Are you willing to do that, right? Let's get into this. I want to show you guys. They keep their cool. A lot of y'all are running off emotions and impulse. Calm down. They keep their cool, right? They keep their cool, right? They set and stick to goals. Number 2, they set and stick to goals, right? Let's keep going. They set goals, right? Number 3, they maintain a daily to-do list. meaning they make sure they execute their days, right? They don't watch too much TV. A lot of y'all on Netflix every single day. Y'all live on it, right? They network. They take themselves outside their comfort. They network, right? They educate themselves, learning new skills. With new skills come with new rewards. They invest. A lot of y'all are scared to even put out money. They block their time, right? Block their time. But your time is very accessible, right? They know when to call it a day. They don't overly exert themselves. They don't burn themselves out. Some of us are burning ourselves out, right? Right? They stick to a healthy diet. Stick to a healthy diet. Those are the 10 things that millionaires do. But what you're going to say is, I do some of those things. So that's some of the reasons why you don't have the status that they have. But I'm going to go on record and say this, guys, before I get out of here today. It's a new year. It's a new me. I'm going after my new results. I'm not sitting back waiting for things to happen. I'm taking life by the horns. I'm not crying about what coulda, shoulda happened, right? Right? Why not do it now? Why not? The word is why. Why? Why you ain't successful? Why are you comfortable? Why are you not believing in yourself? Why? Why? The things that matter the most will always be the hardest. To maintain a healthy friendship is hard. To maintain a good job is hard. To maintain anything of value is hard. But the one thing about hard, it becomes easy if you do it long enough. Hard becomes easy if you do it long enough. So let's stop crying about hard and make life harder. The harder you make life, the easier it becomes. But you don't want to be hard. You don't want it hard. You want life on easy. 2024, we coming for everything we deserve. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this before I get out of here. I'm willing to go to the gates of hell to go take back everything the devil stole from me and go get what I deserve. Because I know for a fact I'm coming with a vengeance. And I suggest you guys look in the mirror and say, I'm going to the gates of hell and take everything the devil stole from me. Because I know for a fact I'm coming with a vengeance. 2024 is up. No more playing games and waiting. We on it. I'm not waiting for nothing to happen. I'm taking back what belongs to me, devil. And I suggest you be prepared. Because you ain't going to trick me out of another year. Till next time, guys. Don't let that go over your head.